Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. Yes, it's still hot outside at the moment, but I think we're getting like northerly or a northeasterly wind, I think, because obviously we're getting, well, even though we're straightforward, still stuck in the middle of this heat wave, we're still a-okay, I have to say, hey, to possibly say the least. I think next week, for those who live in, let's just say Norwich, you should be fine, because obviously, hey, you won't have to really deal with like extra warmth that is from the southeast or the west. And yes, we are still stuck out periods, of course. And let me tell you something, before I made this video, guess what happened? I accidentally fractured my wound because I wasn't looking down. I was like basically walking. I was literally looking forwards, and all of a sudden, bam! I just literally fell down and I just tripped over by accident. Sorry, that was my bad for not looking right up front. I was just too determined to make one of these videos like this one. And yes, I'm still stuck. I haven't really thought of doing tool reviews at the moment because I'm straightforward still working on it. I suppose we've got a lot of sunflowers. There's about 2 of them right here. We've got some nasturtiums and quite a lot of like other seedlings as well, including more nasturtiums and calendula seedlings as well. Yes, the nasturtium seedlings. I mean, yes, I've got a lot of them right here, if not all of them are growing on the ground, but the calendula seedlings, they're fairly newish because I've been putting them directly on plant pots. If I find a very good calendula seed transplant, mind you, I'll say next week might be exactly the same, but who knows? End up with having, well, let's just say a bit of drizzle and a bit of unsettled weather, which might be a very good for such a long period of drought-like conditions. And I still really wonder, where is the rain, or when is the rain going to fall? Well, basically around the latter part of next week, as in like the very later part of next week, I think. Hopefully around Saturday or Sunday, there should be some like showery rain, I suppose, which should be, it may not be enough, but it could be a relief, depending on how much convection we have at the moment. And yes, we've got a lot of bee activities around here. A lot of bumblebees and a lot of hoverflies and butterfly stuff around here. I have to say, hey, yes, summer is basically paving its way to basically the new end, as I see for it, as I can straightforward tell. And yes, we've got a lot of pumpkin seedlings. They've also been doing very, very well. I've actually quenched these guys with more extra coatings of water to make themselves look very superior. And what else? I could tell you what, this smaller pumpkin seedling is also growing very nicely and tall. I have to say, hey, there's a lot more calendula seedlings as well. Lots and lots of it, I suppose. So I can still see some of it blossoming, but they're not as abundant as, well, let's just say the nasturtiums. But I dare say the most special of all of the plants I've grown is, of course, these 2 sunflowers. And actually, if we get warmth, there's a ladybird right here, which I probably presume is a 7-spotted ladybird. There are some harlequin ladybugs or ladybirds, depending on which country you pretty much, well, let's just say call these. Okay, so we've got a ladybird. Is that like a 7-spotted ladybird, or is it a harlequin ladybird? I think that might be harlequin, going by some of the faded spots. If it's a 7-spotted ladybird, then it might have 7 spots, and it might also have clear spots. Well, actually, very clean-looking spots instead of just like faded ones, which have been scrubbed off, I suppose. Hey, we've got some flowers, 2 of them. This one here is producing, I can see a 3rd, and I can see, is that a buff-tailed bumblebee that's like projecting its proboscis? Very nice, isn't it? I can see a couple of bees. I can see a carder bee and a buff-tailed bumblebee. That is very, very nice to know. So I've got this one, which is, of course, another sunflower head. And on the other side is, of course, another sunflower head that is also just projecting the side. And if I turn right here, there where my finger is, you can just see it. And I'm almost drowned by the sound of buzzing. Isn't it a bit funny when I hear that now? And then there's also another sunflower right here, of course. I'll tell you what, the more sunflowers I'm growing, it starts to become really, really interesting, if not amazing at times, given of how much hard work I've been doing to keep this backyard garden running as possible. And I'm just having a good look Actually, there is a bit of a clue right here. Is this supposed to be the female flower going by this round section right here, and the males are a bit, well, let's just say, a bit more plain looking, I guess. Somewhat basic and no round back, say. I might be totally wrong because I haven't really worked out which flower is male and or which female. But anyways, hey, we've got a lot of like nasturtium seedlings everywhere, growing rampantly as summer progresses on. I tell you what, my backyard garden isn't too bad. I have to say, hey, different colours and different bees, they are all pollinating, working themselves real hard before the end. And there's a little damselfly or dragonfly that's literally sitting, I suppose, hey. More calendula seedlings, some of which are maturing and growing so quickly. So nicely, I suppose, hey. Some of the more recent transplantations I've done, they're actually doing nicely, I suppose, hey. Yes, that is fantastic. I have to say, all that fantastic work has certainly made me paid off. So good, isn't it? What else? We've got more cornflowers right here as well too. There's about a few cornflowers here. I did try and trim out this beast so that, yes, it's actually flowering at the moment. We're actually not yet flowering, but it's actually producing like flower buds. I'm going to keep on walking very slowly because I've just basically taken a bit of a fall. And there's more. Look at that, there's more cornflower seedlings here. There's one that's actually about to produce a nice flower, and so are these guys. I'm surprised, hey, that these cornflowers have actually survived of what I presume is a very long drought. And there's the Christmas tree watering hole. Have the birds really touched it? Well, no, they haven't. Yes, it's mainly the cats that touch this area here to drink. And there's another pumpkin seedling here, which has been watered that much, so I'm about to go ahead and grab my watering can and start watering this beast. Yes, pumpkin seedlings require a very vast amount of water, and before I should probably water the pumpkins, I've been doing other stuff. I've been having to buy this big off because I want to straightforward use something for. That's a very good looking thing, and you know why? I'm using it as something very peculiar for what's in. Now, I have been fertilizing my thingy bobs inside here. Of course, I'll try not to touch around with this thing because obviously there's a lot of like remnants of different things. Right, what I will try and do is I'll go ahead and start fetching my watering can, and this is very dangerous. Obviously, I don't know what's going on, hey, but this ledge is actually very dangerous. I can just see. Yes, I just need to be very careful as I'm basically trundling along the way. Most of the times I am very careful. But hey, sometimes I do fall down by accident. It's just carelessness. Occasional bits of carelessness, I suppose, eh? It happens, but it all doesn't seem to matter. Right, I'm just going to turn off this. I just need to fill up just a little bit more because I don't want to waste some water. We've still got plenty of our water. Our water comes from Wales, and I need to look down because I don't want to slip over and fall or over again, like the last time I've straightforward I've done it. And before I should move on, we've got a lot of pepper seedlings, which have been planted, I suppose, hey? I've been transplanting these pepper seedlings because, oops, and I think I've just turned the brightness by accident, which is not a very good look. There you go, it's a much clearer brightness range, and I'm actually going to start watering the big size pumpkin seedlings and also that strawberry seedling as well. Those which are, oh man, I think I've just poured out too much. But I'll try and water these guys very nicely and thoroughly because obviously it is another hot and dry day. But obviously, hey, and there's another one here, eh? Which is totally depriving of water, and there's a bumblebee here, eh? Whoops, and I think I've drowned it down to the ground. Oh, that's very cruel of me just to water down that bumblebee, actually. Sorry about that. It's actually still on the move. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and straightforward see what else is up for grabs. I'm just going to water this in a nice line, I suppose so that everything is all looking good so far. And there goes the other one here as well too. And look at that sunflower seedling. Mind you, that sunflower seedling that I've just planted is actually growing really, really fast. Can you believe it? And yeah, look at the nasturtiums as well too. And yeah, they're also doing good. But there's one other plant that I might want to show you, and it's the broad beans. And I've been quite hesitant of having to really leave my broad beans alone. And there's some of these. I actually noticing there's actually quite a few beans that have been. Yeah, I can just see a small one. That's like, yeah, most of the beans would pretty much emerge. I can just see one very small looking one. Many of these broad beans will basically just emerge out after just a bit of periodic flowering. And then there's more cornflowers right here. I tell you what, my backyard garden is looking really, really busy. During this heat wave, it has been remarkably stressful to really water as much crops as I can. But at the same time, man, it's also been quite a passion, I have to say, hey? And as you can see, we've got a bit of a confrontation between a nasturtium and a pumpkin seedling. They're basically competing each other to see who's going to grow a lot, I suppose. So I'm still waiting for some flowers to appear, I suppose. Hopefully, yes, I can see how this is all going to really work from the time being. Hey, there'll be a lot of pumpkin flowers as time flies and whittles by. Hey, I suppose, hey, the mature ones will start to appear really, really nice. I can still see some more pumpkin seedling action as well too. The mature ones will start to really do that thing very, very early, as long as I'm keeping my best and doing my best to water them very, very quickly, or actually very thoroughly. I tell you what, hey, I think by the time when, let's just say, these pumpkins are going to start emerging, I'm going to have to probably move the pumpkin pot into somewhere else, because if they do grow really, really big, I tell you what, these pumpkins will have to be, well, let's just say, placed into a different area, because I feel like it's going to really take over as much space as I can. And I do fear that these pumpkins, when they become flowers, they might also become fruits. And when they do become fruits, I will have to put them at a very different location, because I don't think I've got the right amount of space to contend with. Anyways, there's also the potato seedlings here as well. There's a very noisy jet plane that's like flying in the background. Mind you, they spread a lot of chemtrails when people go on holiday, which is not one of the nicest and one of the most environmentally hazardous things about planes. Right, so we've got a lot of potato seedlings. Some of these leaves have gone a little bit dry, but that's very much normal. I am doing my best to really keep everything nice and hydrated, of course. And hopefully it's basically on the run up towards autumn. And I tell you what, yes, with all that periodic stuff that's happening at the moment, I'm doing my best, and that's what I'm up to. Okay, that's a very fine and very super great thing to do, to try and basically manage as I can, you know. I'll see what I can do from the time being, I suppose. So, mind you, it's going to be a very tricky thing, because I don't know how many plants am I really going to transplant. It's going to be quite remarkable and miraculous, I suppose. So yes, time flies and all whittles by. Tell you what, it's going to be really amazing. And yes, if you want to really see where my fertilizer mixture is, if I open this up, obviously I should have never opened this one up. It's all basically made up with all of this weird, dirty and gunky looking stuff, but it's just there to, you know, give the plant some extra boosted bit of growth, for a bit of an extra boosted growth period. Hopefully I should try and plant as much as I can. I got a tomato seedling. I've also got some pepper seedlings as well. They've also been doing good. And yes, I've actually been a relatively good boy to evacuate these things from the blazing hot sun. It's quite nice, I suppose. When I plant them on a shaded structure, they're going to keep themselves moisturized. Hopefully, this should be really good, I suppose. So I don't know how long is it going to really take for these guys to really grow. It shouldn't be that long. So what, my backyard garden is looking very, very productive. Who knows of what the results would be like during August and September. I tell you what, they're going to be really superb once we get into the next 2 months. Or should I just say 2.5 months. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video here. I shall have to let my wound heal, because obviously I must have taken it so badly. So impulsively, I suppose. So I'm just going to put this big trough right here. I purchased that thing from Poundland for about £3, which is quite nice. And I've also been, one thing I've also been harvesting, a bit of onion action. Very frankly enough, I've been harvesting onions. And guess what? I've also transplanted that onion again. It can produce the same crops all over again before I can harvest it fully around autumn time. I'm going to leave this video here, guys. I need my wound to heal because horrific minor accident. I'm going to straightforward do other stuff. If you really enjoy, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more flat videos like this in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching and bye for now. Oh yes, I forgot to talk about the strawberries. They also need some more water as well too. But I've done it anyways. Again, thank you and bye.